Hello, everyone. I'm here to talk about the inaugural race at Mexico City for the NASCAR Cup Series. I did think that this was a pretty entertaining race. It did look like there was a lot of enthusiasm among the fans in Mexico. Very happy for them to have a race on their home soil. It's great to see NASCAR moving south of the border. I'd love to see NASCAR all throughout North America. I am of the opinion that there are a few races on the schedule that we should probably only go to those tracks once in the year, and I think that we could see a greater variety of tracks in the future. I would love to see at least this one Mexico City date stay on the schedule. I'd love to see a date or two go up north of the border in Canada. I believe it would be very good for the sport to have more races on both sides of the border. I'm not saying we need to go fully international, but I do believe NASCAR would do very well to go at least north and south of the border in Canada and Mexico. So yeah, this was a pretty entertaining race. We saw an early caution for rain. Most teams opted to go on rain tires. There were a couple holdouts there, notably Austin Cindric, who did perform quite admirably, in my opinion, on those slicks. But ultimately, it didn't end up working out for the two team. So the rain definitely shook things up. It did look pretty sketchy out there at times. I do think this track looks to be a pretty difficult track in general to drive on. A very technical track, and we did see the cream rise to the top at the end of the day. That 88 team very strong all day, but there were definitely some competitive cars in the field as well. Looking at the 54 of Ty Gibbs, that team probably had their best race so far of the season. I think in the end of the day, Ty Gibbs was probably not going to win this race. Uh, I don't believe that he quite had the pace necessary on the long run for to match SVG. I do think the 54 may have been an overall better car than the 88, but I do believe that the road racing experience SVG has would ultimately have led to the win that we saw anyway. I think that 30 lap stretch was simply too long for the relatively inexperienced Ty Gibbs to hold off a driver like Shane Van Gisbergen, who really knows how to save his equipment on these types of tracks and keep constant pace throughout the race. Now, there were some competitive cars that got taken out early, or at least cars that I believe would have been competitive that got taken out early. The five of Kyle Larson being the most obvious example. I always do find it unfortunate when that Valvoline paint scheme gets taken out. I do really like it, but in that situation, there's not a whole lot he could have done. Kyle Busch in that 8 car, who I also thought may have been competitive given his performance at Coda this year. Just overshot that braking zone, didn't have enough, and it was like bowling balls taking out those cars. So after that, we did see a battle here between SVG and the 54 Ty Gibbs. Ultimately, both cars chose to flip the stage, so neither of them would take the win here. And we did see not really a battle, but we did see the 60 and the 12, Ryan Preece and Ryan Blaney break away from the pack, and ultimately Ryan Preece would get the stage win. Great for that 60 team. They're sitting on the bubble. Those extra 10 points are going to help them immensely moving into the this stretch before the playoffs. Preece battling for that those last few positions in the playoffs. So stage two, we saw Suarez take an early lead just to lose it to Ty Gibbs. A little unfortunate, Daniel Suarez, the hometown guy, but he did get that win in the Xfinity race. Definitely a feel-good win. I didn't really expect him to be a winner in this race, or maybe competitive, but I was thinking, top 10 car at best. I just don't think that 99 team is strong enough to have won this race when there are other guys in the field that are such good road course racers. So at this point in the race, we actually saw Ty Gibbs leading the way with Shane Van Gisbergen. Although we of course would see Ty Gibbs head to the pits, flip the stage, and SVG stay out and win the stage. A little divergence of strategies here. At the time, SVG and his team, they believed that there was going to be rain coming, so it didn't make sense to pit when you were just going to have to pit again for rain tires. And Ty Gibbs looking to flip the stage and get that early track position going into stage 3. So SVG getting that stage win, Christopher Bell second, but it was a pretty distant second, 2.5 seconds. Bowman also doing well here. McDowell, another bubble driver that did quite well in that stage as well. We saw that 77 of Carson Hocevar flip around a couple times, or spin around a couple times. He had a pretty rough day as far as that goes. So once we get back into the swing of things here, we saw a SVG lose a little bit of track position. Of course, we kind of skipped over that there, but we saw SVG get back out to the lead because there was a caution after Ty Gibbs pitted, which opened up the door for SVG to. SVG went into the pits earlier, and then the caution came out, so Ty Gibbs ended up losing positions on the caution. And then we get into that last 30 lap run where SVG just put on a clinic. Very, very dominant performance by that 88 team. Really what we expected to see out of this team in, having been picked up by Trackhouse. This is why they were brought over, or why Shane Van Gisbergen was brought over to NASCAR. He's here to win these road courses and get into the playoffs and earn those finishing positions for Team Trackhouse. Here's a look at the finishing positions for the race on Sunday. I've highlighted the bubble drivers here in yellow. SVG now, of course, no longer in the bubble, but rather firmly locked into the playoffs. And here's a quick look at the cut line as well. Definitely some movement here, and we'll talk about that in a future video. So thanks for watching. Hope you all have a great rest of your day.